So I've always said good audio makes a great video, and one of the things that I've been a huge fan of over the years, getting into gaming, YouTube, streaming and all that stuff, is microphones. It's a little bit weird. I've collected maybe, I don't know, 30 microphones over the years. I've always tried to perfect that audio quality. I'm always improving, I'm always adjusting, always changing my personal taste, and I've been a massive fan. And I've recommended to countless people this microphone, the Shure SM7B. It's actually the one I'm using now with a different foam top on it. But this is a microphone that I'd recommend to any streamer over the years that's serious about getting into streaming. Now, the only problem with a microphone like that is there's a skill learning curve if you've never got into audio stuff before. It's not just a USB plug and play sort of a situation. It's fairly expensive, and, you know, it's not the only thing you need. You need like a mount, you need a cloud lifter if you want to apply some gain to it, because the SM7B is naturally quite quiet. But what if Shure, the brand, and this is why you're watching this video, brought out a microphone targeted to people like myself who want to get into game streaming and things like that. So this is the MV7. I'm very, very lucky here because I've got an early look at this. And this microphone, I have to be honest, really, really excited to me. I reached out to Shure and said, please, please let me have a look at this microphone. Because as I said, when this microphone came out, the SM7B originally, it's been remastered since then, but when it came out, this whole streaming and creating videos wasn't really a thing. So it kind of ended up just kind of being the de facto microphone for those people, and it wasn't really created with those people in mind. Now, it's still a great microphone. I'd still recommend you go out and pick one of these up. However, for those of you who haven't learned about the cloud lifter yet, or haven't learned about XLR input yet, and want to get into streaming in 2021, this microphone right here is going to be a really, really tempting option. I am assuming. I haven't unboxed it yet. I haven't looked at it yet, but we're going to take a look. Okay, so here it is. This is the Shure MV7 podcast microphone. Really, really excited about it. I've got it in the silver version. It comes in two versions, black and silver. I opted for the silver because I thought it was a little bit different. I'm used to having a black Shure SM7B, so really excited to see what the silver looks like in person. But as you can see, MV7 podcast microphone for podcasting, home recording, and gaming USB and XLR output. Really, really awesome. So on the box, you've got a guy wearing headphones with some green glasses, very gamer aesthetic. On the back, we've got the key points and features of the microphone. So looking at the features here, you can see that we've got voice isolation technology, auto level mode, live stream ready, customizable sound signature, which I'm really interested in. Real-time headphone monitoring, which is really important for making sure you sound good, and like if there's a delay, it's really noticeable, so really glad it's real-time monitoring. Touch control panel and a mic stand, which I don't have today, but I imagine we'll take a look at that in the future. So this is the MV7. Very gamer aesthetic across the box. It's really awesome to see Shure kind of targeting that podcast streamer audience. Really interested to see what it looks like and get my hands on it. In terms of weight, it feels quite heavy, which is a good sign probably. So welcome to better sound. That's a nice touch. I like that. Let's put that to one side. So here we go. This is the box. All right, so this is pretty nice. So we've got a couple of things here. We've got a quick start guide. Again, really like the color scheme actually. We've got some USB touch panel shortcuts, which is interesting. Things like slide the green dots to adjust the gains, slide orange dots to adjust the headphone volume, tap, toggle, all that stuff. Pretty cool. It's interesting how it's in a little card on a piece of printed on a piece of cardboard. Interesting. Okay, well, it's good to have those on hand. And here's our first look at the microphone itself. So I'm going to pull that out and put to one side. So wow, I've just taken that out of the packaging, and okay, first things first, you've got a little foam cover on the top here. You've got the touch controls, which are this way facing, which is interesting because obviously this is the angle you're going to be looking at it. Most people maybe would put them up this way. I don't know. But it's just kind of interesting to me that they've thought about that and actually put that the right way. So when we get that plugged in, on the bottom, this is the really crucial part of this microphone. We've got an XLR option or a USB option, or we can use both for an interesting setup. I'll talk about that a little bit later, and the headphone jack for monitoring and stuff. But it's a metal. It feels very high quality. Very happy with that. Usual sort of stand here. It's a little bit smaller than the SM7B, which I'm using now. SM7B here without the hood on it, but just to compare, it's a fairly similar size. It's a little bit chunkier and shorter. So, and in terms of weight, it's pretty identical actually, which I'm kind of surprised about. Okay, let's put the microphone to one side and actually see what else is in the box, because there seems to be some other things in here. So we've got a little adapter for the stand. We've got potentially the longest USB cable to mini USB cable I've ever seen, which is a really good thing, because normally your microphone might not be anywhere near your PC, because obviously you're going to want to be far away from those PC fans as possible. So that's a really good feature. I don't know how long this is, but it looks substantially long, which is great. A USB-C to mini USB adapter cable. That's the only drawback I can see so far at this stage of this microphone. I don't really have a problem with the adapter itself. The only thing I would say is, out of the two connectors, USB-C and mini USB, USB-C seems to be more reliable of plugging it in and unplugging it, and just durability wise it's much better. So I wish this was USB-C, but it's not a deal breaker or anything like that. I mean, ideally you'd plug it in once and never touch it again. So yeah, in terms of form factor anyway, really nice. Lovely. Nice build quality, feels dense, feels like a proper professional grade microphone, and that is what you'd expect, and I'm really glad to see it here. Okay, so for comparison, because I think people will make a size comparison here, this is the Elgato Wave that came out recently, and this is Shure's MV7, sorry, microphone. So size-wise, they're fairly similar, and weight with the stand, I would say, is kind of similar. I would say I prefer the build quality of the MV7. So I know a lot of people will be asking me the question, which one is, I don't know, a nicer build quality. They're both pretty good, but I think I prefer the cold touch of the Shure MV7. It feels a lot more premium. Not to say that the Wave is a bad microphone by any means, but yeah, this is a really, really nice quality build. Okay, so this is what the microphone sounds like, ladies and gentlemen. It's very exciting to me. I think it sounds really good. I'm really impressed so far. There's some software that I'm going to show you, which is right here, which is like a little bit of software you run on your PC. It's very minimalist in a really nice way. It's not intrusive. It's very simple. We'll go through it in a little bit. But just for reference, I'm not using an XLR input. I will later on. But I feel like most people who buy this microphone will want the USB capabilities, and will probably start at least with the USB and all of this stuff. So let me just go through it. So USB microphone plugs straight into the PC. Very simple. Plug it in, download the software. I'll link it in the description. Actually, I don't know if I'll have a link to that yet, but I'm sure it'll be readily available when you need to see it, or whenever you need to download it. But it has two features: a manual, which is the one I'm using right now. So you can have a preset, which is really nice. So as you can see here, I've got Ollie Likes This, which is this preset I've got right now. So we can mute it. There's also a button on here I can press. That's pretty cool. And you get, you guys can see that. Or there's a software button as well, which is kind of cool. Then you got the mic gain. Again, no cloud lifter, which I would have to use for this. So that's really nice. We're at 30 dB, which is quite a lot. It might be too much. Maybe it's a bit much, but I think it sounds brilliant. Then we've got a monitor mix. So this, if you're new to microphones and talking into a PC, you want to whack this all the way to the computer and not hear yourself talk. Because 9 times out of 10, the people that are new to it find it really distracting hearing themselves talk when they open their mouths. It's kind of a weird sensation when you're first doing it. For me personally, I can't do it without it. Doing it like this, which obviously sounds the same to you, but to me, I feel like I'm talking in a fishbowl right now, and it's super hard to keep my audio levels in a sort of a similar range. Being able to hear myself is super useful. I would encourage you to get used to it, but just that's an important option for people that are new to the microphone. The other thing as well, I keep plosive popping this microphone. It might be better for me to have it in a different orientation. For example, a lot of YouTubers actually have this microphone like under their chin because it kind of picks up the sound here and you don't pop the microphone quite as harshly. So maybe I would recommend doing that. Maybe I could try that. Hang on. Okay. All right. No, this interesting. Okay. And also pretty clean. The only thing you can now see the mic arm, which I'm not a fan of. Like if I could remove, oh, wait a minute. There we go. Super simple. Okay. There we go. I solved my own problem. Peter Plosive Power Puff Petals. That's a lot better. Okay, so I've figured out that problem. Either get a pop filter or mount it so you're not breathing into the microphone directly. But it sounds nice. It still sounds nice in my ears. Anyway, I've been waffling on for far too long. EQ. At the moment, I've got it on Presence Boost, as you can see. This is called Presence Boost right there. Or we can have it on flat. So this is doesn't change the way the microphone sounds at all. There's no fiddling with the sound. So it's a very flat, as you would describe it, sound. Or you can have a high pass. So this is your high pass filter. Sounds okay. And then you've got a presence boost, which I can't decide if I like or not. It's okay. Obviously, this is all personal preference. And also, this is down to your personal taste. I tell people all the time not to Google and have a look at best microphone settings on YouTube. Because or best EQ settings. Because what works for you might not work for the next person. Like a voice is very individual, and playing with EQs or copying someone else's EQs will be a good start, but you might have very annoying tones or lovely tones that you want to enrich, but you'll be missing out because you're trying to remove someone else's annoying tones. And yeah, just keep that in mind. Try not to get tempted to copying other people, because it doesn't always work out. Got a limiter here. I'm not using it, honestly. Don't need to. I think it's fine without it, although the option's there. And then we've got a compressor. So for me, I like a fairly compressed sound. I think it sounds lovely, but we'll go through it and see the different options. So we've got off here. So this is completely no compressor whatsoever. Completely just as is. Sounds fine, but it's a little quieter now. And then we've got light. So you can have a little bit more, or a bit medium. You can have a bit more. Or you can go like me and go absolutely to the max and have the most compressed sound in the world. This is a personal taste thing. I like compressed sound. I don't like to go too far, but I do like it. And I think it sounds quite nice here. So that's that. Now let's go to the auto level. So this is what I imagine most people would go for. So we've got like a more user-friendly, and you can hear the microphone change now of like some very simple settings. So we've got the monitor mix again. We can mute it again. Or we've got the mic position. So if you've got it near, click near. If you've got it far, click far. So this is if it's further away from you. So I'm going to try that now. So I'll put it like here. So this is further away. It sounds quite nice, actually. And it's automatic. So it's kind of figuring out the gain and things like that we did in the manual automatically, which is quite nice. And then we've got tone. So tone is quite interesting. So right now it's on neutral, which means probably they don't do much, if anything. Let's go to dark. So a darker tone is a richer sound, a deeper sound, a darker sound. It's more podcast. It's more a warmer sound, I would say. And then you have more of a bright sound, which I'm not a fan of. I have I just don't like the sound. It's like a personal preference thing, but this brings up a lot of the high end. In music, it would mean you can hear instruments a lot easier. The clarity would be there, although it's a little piercing for my ears personally. So neutral sounds pretty good. Dark is interesting, but I think it's a little bit much for my voice personally. So anyway, so that's that. I'll save the XLR section of the video for an upcoming video a month later. But I think the USB arguably is going to be the best option for the most people. And actually, from my personal perspective, even though I have the XLR capabilities and the cloud lifter and a mix amp and stuff like that, I don't need it. I'm kind of happy with the sound. Obviously, it's a digital sound rather than an analog sound. But obviously, that all happens, I imagine, somehow in here. So it's an interesting concept, and I'm really impressed with what they've done. Brilliant, fantastic microphone. I think this is going to enrich streaming for a long time. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. Bye-bye.